Hi, my name is Soumya, and I'm from Bangalore Institute of Technology in my third year, BTech CSC. And I'm really excited to be a part of Stanford Scholar Initiative. We just finished a talk. I had a really good experience. I learned a lot from the experience also, and currently the paper that we are working on, it's very interesting. Pretty sure that it's going to be really helpful.
Awesome. Thanks. Krishti?
Hello, can you hear
Hi.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm second year. I'm pursuing computer science and engineering, and I'm enjoying to be a part of Stanford Scholar, and I'm trying to explore different areas and learn as much as possible.
Cool. Awesome. Welcome. Sarthak?
Hi everyone, I'm Sarthak. This is my third iteration of Stanford Scholar, and I have been associated with Stanford Scholar for around 4 months now. I really look forward to being part of a new paper presentation and incorporating more people into this program. It's fun to be part of this program.
Welcome. Rameshwar?
Hi, I'm Rameshwar. I'm associated with the Human Computer Interface channel, which is B47HC1. I worked with the Computer Vision channel last time, so we almost made we are in the process of making the talk. Matlab, meaning we have done, it's in the process of video generation now.
Yeah.
So I am presently the DRI of this channel, and yeah, I'm looking forward to this opportunity. This is the
Awesome.
first time I'm being a DRI here. Yeah.
Awesome. Who's next? Puneet?
Yeah, so hi, myself Puneet. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, so currently I'm working at Intel Technology India, and I was a former Google Summer of Code student, and currently I'm also a mentor at Google Summer of Code, part of Stanford Scholar Program.
So which group and GSOC are you working on?
EMS, real-time operating system.
Cool. Nilan? Oh, I guess there will be a lot of noise.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, welcome.
This is my first time DRI.
Nilan, maybe you can introduce yourself on Slack. Because the moment you unmute yourself, it's Mukund? Mukund, are you there? Martian?
Hello everyone, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, hello, I'm Mushrin. I'm presently a third year student at Birla Institute of Technology, Chennai. And this is my second iteration with Stanford Scholar, and this time I'll be with the Machine Learning 2 channel. Thank you everyone. Hope we all have a great time here.
Awesome. Anurag, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Anurag. I'm from NSIT third year computer science. I'm in the ML1 department, and it's nice to meet everyone.
Great. Okay, let's start. So let me also introduce myself. I'm Rajan. I'm a postdoc at Stanford. Been here for 4 years, and basically running this project, this experiment this initiative, whatever you call it, because it's new, right? So it's an experiment in a sense, trying to make research accessible around the world, um, while also okay, while also providing learning opportunities to you guys. So students around the world are very curious about different research topics. Often they
Okay.
don't get an opportunity to learn in
While
a
also
collaborative environment.
learning
You guys. So could you all please mute yourselves about different research topics? Often they
okay.
don't get an opportunity to learn in
While
a
also
collaborative environment.
learning
I'm just muting everyone because I'm hearing myself. Okay. Can you hear me all right? Can you just acknowledge that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Go on, go on.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. So basically, the goal here is to not only enable access to research knowledge in the world, but also to provide a very interesting learning opportunity to you guys so that you can work with peers from around the world, whether they're from Germany, India, US, or anywhere else, and work together to accomplish a common goal, which is to produce research videos, which will be very helpful for people. So far, we have generated over 80 research videos, which have attracted over 20,000 views from around the world, and in many different languages like Hindi, Spanish, Catalan, and other languages, which has been really awesome because this is the first of its kind effort. I've been getting a lot of emails from professors and from different people who are really praising the effort which you guys are doing, and also I get a lot of emails from people who are from you guys who are really appreciative of the learning opportunity. This process also helps you grow in your career. So like you can, once you create a talk, you can actually add it in your resume that you created a talk on this project. um, and you should check out the affiliation policy, by the way, on our website. And once you do that, and if you are working very hard, you can also request me a recommendation letter for your grad school applications, for your jobs, or any other future opportunities. As long as you have done great work and you have really demonstrated that you're good at what you're doing and you are here to learn, I'll be more than happy to help you in any way to advance your careers. Um, Now, let's start with what the DRI process actually entails. Let me screen share first. So as a DRI, your responsibility is to lead this effort. When I say lead, it's not, can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, awesome. So as a DRI, your goal is to basically help lead this effort. When I say lead, it's not just telling others what to do, but working with others to accomplish this whole goal. So the process, let me walk you through the process. And there are people who are also watching this video,
Uh,
so they can also learn about this whole thing.
Rajan, sorry to interrupt, but I think I can't see your screen, whichever you are sharing.
Okay, let me stop and redo that. Can you see it now?
Yeah, now I can see.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So the goal is basically to create a 5-minute short video paper. This is very important. 5 minutes is enough time from which we can explain the basic concepts of the paper. At the same time, we don't want to exclude the important concepts. So what you should focus on while you're progressing is to make sure that you are not going a lot in depth, which is not required, but you cover the basic concepts of the paper. And 5 minutes should be a very good duration to do that. So make sure that it's 5 minutes. We won't be accepting talks that are longer. So if you end up creating a 7-minute talk, six plus minute talks, they won't be accepted. So you'll have to like trim that down. So it's a better idea that you keep this in mind early on, that you have to create a 5-minute version of the paper. Each talk goes through a 21 days cycle of preparation. So right now we are in the paper reading phase. On 17th, this phase will end. And right now we are basically onboarding you guys as a DRI. Right after this talk, we will create a private channel where DRIs will be invited to discuss and share their experiences and work together. After 17th, for 2 days, we'll work on questionnaire. Questionnaire is super important phase where after reading the paper, you will be asked questions about what is the contribution, what did authors do, what do you think is novel, etc. So there are sort of like 17 questions which you'll have to answer, and that question will really force you to think about different aspects of the paper which were missed at the time you were reading it. So it's super important that you when you go through the questionnaire phase. And this will basically lead the foundation for the doc creation. So you'll have 1 week, one entire week, to create slides and scripts. Scripts is the basically the explanation of the slides, which will go in the notes section of Google Docs, Google Slides. And slides are basically, like a general one. Every folder for your team has a slide already in there, which has a basic template which you can follow. But feel free to be creative. You can change the titles. You can shuffle a little bit. You can add interesting photos from everywhere. Check out scholar.stanford.edu for examples, and you'll get a sense of idea of like how people have been creative in past. And so feel free to be creative and experiment, but without compromising the format or the template which we have provided. Please note that this is a very independent effort in the sense that we will not be coordinating or messaging the authors of the paper. We work very independently, collaboratively amongst ourselves, but we don't message authors like, hey, look, we are doing this, can you help? From authors. We want to produce it very independently. That's the whole purpose, right? Like authors don't have time to create these videos. And so we are doing it on their behalf to help spread research knowledge. So that's something which you should keep in mind. But you can for sure like Google around, look for resources, papers. If you are stuck with some example, some keywords, ask in your channel, Google it. Feel free to use all these resources and help from your peers. After this week, when you're done with the talk creation and the script creation, make sure that the script reads off in 5 minutes. It shouldn't be longer. And once you have that version, the next 3 days are for basically peer evaluation and iteration. So everybody will peer evaluate your slides and give you feedback. And your goal would be to quickly iterate and improve upon your slides as and when you go on through that process. After 3 days of iteration and feedback, you will then work on the audio recording. For that, we have another tool called Audio Studio, which really makes the process seamless in terms of audio recording. So you don't have to actually install anything on your computer. You don't have to go to any other website. It will just make the process very seamless in terms of audio recording and then video production. The last 2 days are just for polishing things. So like maybe you end up creating a talk which is not the ideal one, you were expecting something else. So the last 2 days is basically to polish and make it even better. So that's how like it takes 21 days for this whole thing to happen. Let me now dive more into details. So we have this DRI and recruitment sheet where basically you guys have applied and now we are talking to each other, right? So this will be this was the DRI sheet. Now, after this meeting, we will update the final candidates tab. So we'll have like all the team names and your names here. What is interesting is that there could be nominations could be added and inactive could be removed, which means that this role is not permanent. If you're active, you will continue to be on the as a DRI until the end. And if you're not active, you will be removed, and someone else who is active will be added. So this is a very dynamic nature of DRIs, which we have been experimenting with, where people who really deserve, who are active, should be the people who should lead this effort, while people who are not active shouldn't be allowed to lead this effort. And DRIs is very special. It's a very honorable role where you work directly with me, you work directly with Aviral and Ophelio to basically help this process further. And so your contributions are very visible. And that makes me write even stronger recommendation letters. So if you're a DRI, it's an honorable position to be in, and you should try to maintain that by being active throughout the process. If you're not, someone else who is active will be promoted to be a DRI. So like people who are watching who are not DRIs right now, don't be demotivated. You can still be a DRI if you demonstrate your work strongly enough. Okay, so after the DRIs, this is the progress sheet where we will be basically updating for all the teams, whether the questionnaire part is done, whether the slide part is done. So like it's basically checking boxes as in when you move further in your video production. So we'll track the progress here. Okay. Next was getting started in workflow. You have seen all the talk folders where each talk folder has audio auditions upload here. Oh yes, I forgot to mention this. People who are interested in providing voice to the videos should audition their work. So if you have already recorded in past, you can just share the link here. Or if you're a new person and wants to record for the future videos, just submit a 30-second video file about your introduction. You can check out this details on how to do that. So like you can go to onlinevoicerecorder.com, record a 30-second introduction, and just upload it here. It's very, very simple. So I've gone through the DRI and progress sheet, getting started. These were the papers which you have been reading. Actionable best practices for short talks. So this is something you should all read before starting working on the slides, because this kind of helps you how to organize your talks, such as you should have shorter scripts per slide. It shouldn't be that you are stuck on one slide for a really long duration of the talk. You should have multiple slides or different concepts. So like go through these steps, which will help you understand what are the best practices which will make a talk look really good. The next part I wanted to, so I mentioned peer review, right? So this is how peer evaluation will look like. This sheet has 10 tabs for each talks. For each talk, you can see the status here. So right now, no talk is accepting feedback because no talks are created, right? And so once the talks are created, the DRIs can make a decision that, yes, now we should get feedback. So you can share it on general channel, ask for feedback, people will give feedback. Every team has to give at least 3 feedback to other teams. So that's mandatory service. And it's a very give and take relationship here. So the more feedback you give, I think more feedback you get, and more improvements you can make. So everybody tries to help each other in this phase because everybody wants to get help in this phase. So it's a very back and forth process here, where you give feedback here. You mention your name, your team's name, and the person who is reviewing these feedback will basically mention whether the feedback has been addressed or not. And finally, like this is for later stage, but this is the place where the instructions for creating audio is given. So we have a tool called Audio Studio, which will be used for audio creation. It basically looks something like this, where you have a slide, you have notes next to that, and you can record audio right there for this particular slide. So it's super simple. So that's basically the important things I wanted to cover. Basically, the GRIs are dynamic. Everybody should collaborate. It's a very collaborative and learning effort. So enjoy the process rather than getting stuck. So if you are stuck, feel free to ask questions from me, Ophelio, or Aviral on general channel, so that others can get help from that as well. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'll now accept questions from you guys. So if you have questions here or on Slack, let me know.
So, Rajan, is
Yeah.
there anywhere written about that three feedbacks are mandatory? All those stuff you have documented anywhere or not?
Which one? Sorry.
That three feedbacks are mandatory, right? Just you told.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So all those stuff are documented somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything is documented. If you read the getting started document, everything's in there. Whatever is said basically
Okay.
is in there. Yes. But
And how we measure that on paper that video is enough for 5 minutes?
so yeah,
Maybe someone is reading so fast or maybe too slow.
yes.
So that's why I'm asking.
Yes, very good question. So the way we do it is that the formula to making it 5 minutes is not by reading it fast. You should read at your normal pace and then time it. So like you can self-record yourself or you can just self-narrate it and time it. You can also
Okay.
count the number of words in the script. So I think it's about 600 words or something like that. Let me check. Which is basically which counts to around 5 minutes of content. So
Okay.
don't be fast, don't be slow. Just follow the just speak as you'd normally explain or give a talk. So yes, so here it is. Any talk which is any script which is 600 to 700 words is pretty much meets the 5 minute limit. So you can either self narrate or just count the words, which will be able to help you in terms of like
Okay.
how like whether your talk is meeting the 5 minute duration or not.
Mhm. And we can add the video links, animations, anything in the slide, right?
No, the slides are very static, so you'll have
Okay.
to like be creative in terms of how do you like how do you use multiple slides to show kind of um, the animation style. You cannot add video within a video. That's not possible right now. Um,
Okay.
but that's okay. Like it's a 5 minute research talk. You're just explaining the concepts. Most of these are super technical. Um, so so that feature is not available, but I think you can be creative to make your talk look very good. And you can check out, you should, I'll highly encourage you to check out Scholar or Stanford edu to check out past talks and how the people have been creative in creating like really beautiful talks.
Mm. Yeah. Thanks, Rajan, for that.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'll also switch on to Slack. So people on Slack, if you have questions, please let me know. So I'm just trying to read questions if there are any. I don't see any questions. Okay, I'm just seeing one suggestion that there should be an FAQ for DRIs, collection of.
And can you summarize the duties of DRI so we can all understand what we should
So
do?
basically, it's very flexible. I just walked through the process, and so how
Mhm.
to ensure that this process actually works, and to make sure that this we adhere to that is the role of a DRI. So your day-to-day responsibilities would be something like you're asking everyone like, hey, how's it going? You help answer people's questions. You're
Mhm.
like you're not just doing that, but you're also working on the slides. You're also reading the paper. You're also writing the questionnaire. Oftentimes, you will see that people are waiting for someone to take the first step. For example, in the questionnaire, you may see that after the questionnaire phase starts, nobody's doing anything because they're waiting for someone to take the first step. So DRIs will be the people who will take the first step in terms of getting started with different efforts, whether it's slide creation, whether it's questionnaire. And so that will really be your role in terms of like taking first steps, helping others, and getting everyone together to get stuff done.
Okay. And one paper is timeline is 21 days, right? And
Yeah.
after that, I will be getting another paper, uh,
Yeah,
and so
yes.
on.
So like we will, like after this, we will start another phase with 10 new papers. Um,
Okay.
yeah, we'll take a small break. We will take a small break so that you don't burn out. We will take a small break where we will kind of, in a very casual way, we will try to work on more of foreign talks out of these papers. So we'll try to create a Hindi or like Spanish or any other language talk, irrespective of like um, irrespective of its nature. So like any talk, any foreign language is welcome, and so we will focus our time in creating that during after this 21 days period ends.
And for that foreign languages, do we need that foreign script
Yes,
written?
exactly. So you should check out some Hindi, some foreign talks which are already in there. So that will give you a
Okay.
glimpse of like how the foreign talks have been created. Yes. So like you'll be explaining pretty much all these things in Hindi. Like if you know Hindi, like how would you talk to your friend and like explain these things? So it will be pretty much like that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we need a script for Hindi, English, whatever we are giving presentation in, as well as the audio as well, right?
Right. Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about the foreign one right now. Like that's for later.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So Sashi asks me, so the content of the slide shouldn't be too technical. So Sashi, we have to find the right balance. If the talk is super technical, then we may have to include some parts of it. Like if the talk it feels incomplete without that technical aspect. But the our goal is to basically make the talk simple to explain within the 5 minutes. And you cannot go into deep aspects of the talk in 5 minutes. So, like that kind of balances things out. That's the quick answer to that one. Then, so when do we know that the talk is ready and good enough to be published? Is it after we get good reviews from the peers, or will you decide that at the very end? I play no role. So it's you guys, you are the leaders, you are the people who are creating the talks, you are the owners. I have no say unless you do not adhere any of the format or like policies. I have no say in how you produce your talks. So Nilan's question, the talks will be peer reviewed, and once peers are happy with their talk, then it basically means that the talk is ready to be published. Um, so yes, I'm not the deciding factor. You guys are. Then the next question is, do we need to explain any paper like anyone who know nothing about in that area can understand in more depth? Very good question. The audience of our paper is not someone who has zero experience in this topic. So if it's a deep learning paper, we're not going to explain what deep learning is, right? It's a 5-minute short paper. We're not here to teach the concepts. We are here to explain the paper's contribution. If there's something super, super critical, there can be one slide in explaining that specific aspect, but we are not gonna teach or go very much in depth to just explain that specific concept and not talk about the contribution of that paper. So Tushar, the answer to your question is uh, that we have to frame the talks for the audience we are working for. So the audience is someone who understands the area, not necessarily the paper. So like this person, for example, would come here to understand the paper, not to study what is deep learning or what is machine learning, etc. What's the next question? I was wondering how much knowledge do you need to have a DRI? That's a very good question. Honestly, if you have knowledge in a specific topic, it will help you because you will be able to identify mistakes which others are making in terms of understanding that specific concept. So it's always a plus if you have understanding and have knowledge in the topic of your. And I think that's why you have joined different teams. I got certain messages where people were not very happy about the teams they were. They were like, I'm very good at machine learning. Can I just join a machine learning channel? So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, because if you're really good at it, you should join that one. So that really helps, but it's not the only criteria. And the reason why we have 3 DRIs is to balance that out. So someone may be good at something while someone else may be good at managing things, or like coordinating things, or like making sure that we're making right progress, encouraging your team members, making sure that everybody is in sync. So the DRI's role is not just technical, but everything else. And so having knowledge is a plus, but it's not the bottleneck. Okay, for the audio auditions, we can just upload audio whenever. So Vish G8 asks that can they add it whenever. So like, if you look at the getting started workflow document, you have to upload it by 27th of March. So yes, that's the deadline for uploading the audio auditions. Okay. Okay, now yeah.
Hello, can you hear me, Rajan? Mukunda here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I would just, request everyone, like through this, since many people are listening,
right?
So they can go to the main talk folder, not the individual folders, but read all the documents. Because last time when I was in the HCI 3 channel, many people had many questions. Like, I am happy to answer them, but most of the questions were already answered in those documents.
Right.
So if you just once repeat this, I think people will go and then read those specific documents, because it is really helpful. Because when I started, I did not exactly started from the first day. In fact, I missed the whole paper reading phase and started reading the paper during the questionnaire time.
Yeah.
So most of my doubt was cleared, because all these documents are very well written.
Right.
So I would encourage everyone to read those documents before they start.
Right. So that's I shared the getting started on workflow again. You guys, if you see, there's a table on the top which has all the links you'd need to get started, and in future, like where do we record, how do we record audio, like what are the papers, how do we do peer feedback, what is the main folder, best practices, GR recruitment, progress sheets. So all of those links are right on this getting started document. So you should bookmark this on your computers, on your web browsers. Thanks, Mukund.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'm just seeing if there are more questions. People who are already on, can you explain regarding citations? Yes. Try to have, like, if you're using the images from the internet, try to have citations right in that slide below below that in small small font size. So try to do that, because we will be using a lot of content from the internet, so we should cite that below each slide, or in the end of or in the final slide. So yes, make sure that we do that. So how many people are participating in this version 4 session? Pretty much like all people you're seeing here. Each channel has around 15 or plus more people. So you can imagine it's more than 100 people participating right now in version 4. That's been the standard pretty much. Any other questions? People who are on Slack or on Google Hangouts? Because if none, I will then end this call, and I will be I'll be available all times, but your main person of contact this time would be Ophelio and Aviral. So if you have any questions, just ask on Slack in general, or just ping them. And if they have like further questions, they'll ping me. You can always ping me directly as well. But I just wanted to kind of tell that this time we are trying to use a different concept here. And this is interesting to you guys in the sense that if you're super hardworking and if you're super consistent, you can basically replace me. So that's what Aviral and Ophelio are doing right now. They have been demonstrating their commitment to this project by helping with several talks. And they have literally like replaced me. So I'm not the person who is leading this right now. Ophelio and Aviral are. So and that means a lot. It's a huge deal, to be honest. running this whole effort, while they just started like you guys did. So if you're super hardworking and consistent, so like not just one talk, but you're like helping with multiple talks, not at this same time, but like one talk after another, you will be able to actually lead this whole effort, because we will be launching a platform outside in the world very soon. And then this will be basically a separate entity like Wikipedia or YouTube or Archive. And so you're the early people who are helping with this effort. Yes, so I think that's it. I don't see any question on Slack. I don't see question here. If you have any future questions, just ping on Slack. That this is one of the few meetings which we have in the beginning of each talk, which explains the process and everything, and answers a lot of questions. And I think this was helpful to you guys. And looking forward to really awesome talks. I have already emailed the authors of the past talks, trying to get feedback on the talks you guys created, and I'll share that very soon. In past, they have been very positive, so we should look forward to that as well. All right, so let's do this. Let's read the paper, get on the questionnaire, create the video, and publish it, and let's change the world one video at a time. I'm looking forward to your awesome work, and like enjoy this whole experience. If you read the paper, you will enjoy this experience. So make sure you make the best out of this effort. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Rajat.
Thanks.